The delegate from Charlottesville, Delegate Toscano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaking to the recommendation.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I hope that you will accept the governor's recommendation to vote yes. There's a lot of confusion right now in the coal industry, and it makes some sense to take a little time until things settle down a bit. As you know, the market has been in flux for some time, and the recent actions by the Trump administration regarding the tariffs on steel from China have only exacerbated this issue. There are several things that are clear about the coal tax credit. We've had a coal tax credit in Virginia until last year since the 1980s. And during that time, Virginia taxpayers have invested some $750 million, these are your tax dollars, that have gone to the coal, largely coal companies, but some electricity companies, but have not brought the results that the coal tax credit was supposed to bring. You all don't remember because you weren't here in the 1980s, but it was sold as a vehicle to create jobs and increase coal production. And $750 million later, what do we have? We have an employment situation where about 12,000 plus were employed by coal industries in the 1980s. That's now down to less than 3,000 people. We have tonnage that has dropped by 67%. Since the 1980s. We have tonnage continuing to drop. In fact, the most recent data from the U.S. government, and now this is a government controlled by President Trump, shows that coal production, based on April numbers of this year, is down almost 5% in Virginia from what it was last year. So it's not getting any better. And instead of saying that we're going to invest in Southwest Virginia in a different way, we're going to double down and just keep sending more of our tax dollars down there for this. Now, there are two other things that have happened in the industry since we last had a detailed debate about the coal tax credit, and they have to do with technology. Coal is being challenged by the market and by automation. And if you take a look at what's happening in coal production and what this is supposed to do, this bill, you'll have to realize that the technology is changing around us. The delegate from Scott is going to rise and say, this is about met coal. This is not about steam coal.
That's right. I don't have to now. I don't have to.
And met coal is attractive because it is the basic ingredient of steel. And we want more steel, and met coal helps build steel. But the problem here is that that's an old paradigm. It used to be that steel was made in these blast furnaces, these huge furnaces. But over time, industry, the steel industry, and especially the American steel industry, has gone to a new technology called electric air furnaces, which are fired by gas, not coal. You know who uses electric blast furnaces? China. You know who's going to have tariffs on steel from what country? China. So think about where this met coal is going to go. China? And are we going to get steel back? No. So they're not going to buy it. So the coal industry is still going to suffer, and we're going to continue to double down. So I encourage you to just take a little time, take another year, put on this reenactment clause. We can take a look at how things are sorting out in the international economy at that time. And if we decide that it makes sense to invest our hard-earned tax dollars of your constituents by sending them to coal companies, then we can put in the met coal improved coal tax credit. Thank you.
The delegate from